It's like uncovering a time capsule of trauma. Abigail Klein opens up about revisiting Stephanie's painful past on Days of Our Lives. When Abigail Klein first stepped into the role of Stephanie Johnson on Days of Our Lives, she knew she was walking into a legacy. The character carries decades of history, heartbreak, abuse, betrayal, and resilience. Now, as Stephanie's past resurfaces in Salem, in the form of a surprise return and an uneasy reunion, Klein describes what it's been like to dive back into the memories of that past. It's like uncovering a time capsule of trauma, she says. Klein describes the moment when the show scripted the return of Jeremy Horton, a figure from Stephanie's earlier trauma. According to the interview with Parade, Klein and director Janet Drucker realized an important truth. Although the script had Stephanie letting Jeremy into her apartment, in reality she wouldn't. Klein says, "If this were to happen to me in real life, I would not invite him in." So the creative team made a tweak. Stephanie invites him in, yes, but the door stays slightly open. The atmosphere changes. That little detail, Klein notes, speaks volumes. It says, "I'm letting you in, but I'm not safe." For viewers, the moment works on two levels, one as drama and one as metaphor. For Klein, stepping into Stephanie's shoes means revisiting the pain, the fear, the memory of what happened, and asking, who is she now? What would she do differently? This is more than an actor just playing a scene. It's the layering of past and present, of memory and move forward. Stephanie's backstory on Days is rich and heavy. Klein admits that she didn't receive a full primer from production when she first took on the role. She turned to fans to fill in the gaps. As she told Soap Hub, "I learned all I needed to learn from the fans." And what she discovered, a litany of emotional and physical trauma, gaslighting, threats, attempted drowning in a hot tub, abusive behavior, the kind of plot lines that soap operas do well, but also the kind that leave lasting scars on a character. The moment when Jeremy nearly drowned Stephanie has become part of this heavy legacy. Klein acknowledges it openly. What that means for her today, it's not just remembering, it's re-feeling, it's re-breathing that tension. She explains that when the past is reopened, the trauma doesn't go away, it lingers. It demands acknowledgement. For Stephanie, the return of Jeremy forces her to ask, have I moved on? Am I safe? And the answer may be, not entirely. Klein describes filming the reunion scene as interesting. She says there's a tension between what the writer gives and what the actor must feel. The script said Stephanie lets him in and shuts the door, she recalls. But we said, let's keep the door open. That small change, she says, shifts the power dynamic. It shows Stephanie is cautious. She is not inviting a romantic return. She is protecting herself. In soaps, doors open and shut. Characters enter and exit. But the nuance in this moment is exactly what Klein latches onto. As she says, we might remind them, when explaining fans who hope for a rekindled romance between Stephanie and Jeremy. She means, you remember what he did. You remember her history. We are not pretending. One of the themes Klein highlights, Stephanie's evolution. She is not the same young woman who walked into Jeremy's orbit years ago. Now, she has experience. She has scars. She has learned things. Klein says she felt very protective of the brand and the show and the people. In practical terms, that meant the actor working with the director to ensure that the reunion scene didn't betray Stephanie's journey. She wouldn't simply fall back in. She would remain alert. That's the kind of performance detail Klein seems committed to. Acting out trauma, revisiting trauma on screen is not casual. Klein is candid about that. She uses the metaphor of a time capsule. It's like uncovering a time capsule of trauma. The past is sealed, but still horrifying. Opening it again means facing what was locked away. For an actor, that can be emotionally demanding. She has to channel Stephanie's feelings while also protecting her own. She has to walk the fine line. Compassion, not re-victimization. Strength, not denial. Klein says that when she first took the role, she felt like a rookie compared to the veterans around her. But that's what makes it even more special, to be the sponge and soak it all up. She absorbs not just the storyline, but the character's legacy, the decades of storytelling behind Stephanie Johnson. That requires respect. With Jeremy's return, things are set to get complicated. Klein teases that whatever you think may happen, it's going to surprise you. For viewers, the storyline offers multiple pathways. Will Stephanie fall into old patterns? Or will she rewrite them? Will Jeremy seek redemption? Or is his return something darker? Klein's tone suggests caution. This is not a romantic reprise. It's a reckoning. At the same time, Stephanie's life with partner Alex Robert Scott Wilson is under pressure from other angles: pregnancy lies, secrets, and trust issues. Klein has spoken about that too. The moment when Joy lied about being pregnant with Alex's child, and the relief Stephanie and Alex felt when the lie seemed resolved. Later, the truth may emerge. It's another layer of Stephanie navigating trauma, not from Jeremy directly, but from relational turbulence. Each plotline threads back to the idea: how do you live when the past keeps showing up? Soap operas often thrive on dramatic reunions, twisted secrets, and explosive reveals. But Klein's discussion elevates this into something more introspective. She highlights how characters carry baggage, how they evolve or don't, and how revisiting the past is not simply a plot device. It's psychological work. For longer-term viewers of Days of Our Lives, Stephanie's journey offers continuity. For newer viewers, it introduces depth, trauma, survival, complexity. Klein remarks that when she first joined, she looked to fan pages to learn who had broken Stephanie's heart, who had kidnapped her, who had done what to her. That level of history means the storylines now live on two planes: what's happening on screen and what happened off screen for the character previously. The time capsule is large. Klein's own approach to the character is grounded in trust. She trusts Stephanie's instincts. She trusts the writers to honor the backstory. She trusts the audience to remember. And when asked what she wishes for Stephanie, Klein says she probably won't date another person who turns her phone off without her knowing. She emphasizes that Stephanie has boundaries now. She has a self-respect that her younger self didn't always possess. In an environment like Salem, where doors open, secrets spill, and relationships rupture, that kind of internal compass matters. Klein is, in effect, safeguarding Stephanie's integrity, which in soap terms is no minor task. Final thoughts. When you think about the phrase time capsule of trauma, what does it conjure? Maybe a sealed box under floorboards, a carefully preserved memory that you only open when forced. In this storyline, Stephanie is opening hers and watching, with the audience, how the trauma contained there begins to ripple again. Abigail Klein puts it plainly: she is revisiting a painful past, but she's doing so with purpose. The pain isn't being replayed for shock value alone. It's being confronted. It's being re-examined. And through Stephanie Johnson's journey, Days of Our Lives asks, can you ever really escape your past? Or does the past always come knocking? Klein's take: you may never erase it, but you can decide how you live with it. For fans of Stephanie's story, this return of Jeremy isn't just another shock cameo. It's an echo of what happened before. And as Klein says, we might remind them, because sometimes the past doesn't wait.